I'm Bob Hallmark in Kilgore this morning, and I'm at Region 7 today for a very good reason. Let's talk safety. Now, we know from recent history that there have been some problems with violence directed at schools and at children and in other areas as well. And that's one of the reasons that brings me here today. Today is the School Safety Summit here at Region 7. And joining me now to talk a little bit about what's going on here is Dr. Paul Thompson. Dr. Thompson, I guess go ahead and tell everybody what your position is here.
So I am the safety coordinator for Region 7.
Okay. We have a big group that has attended today. A lot of law enforcement is here as well. Let's face it, 40 years ago, we would not have been even talking about this. Today, this is where we are. Part of what we're doing today is discussing, I guess, the causes of what happens when there is violence directed at schools or children. Is that right?
Certainly. We're discussing those causes. We're discussing the underlying concerns and assumptions, and we're also discussing solutions and how we can better empower our school staff, our school administrators, and our school teachers, as well as our school law enforcement in order to keep everyone safe.
I understand that you have a large number of speakers actually that are going to be telling people, I guess, like giving them the numbers and giving them, we briefly got to see one display here earlier about violence that's happening in other countries as well. And that is a contributing factor, is this is not just happening in the United States. So what are the speakers, I guess, going over at this point?
Certainly. Colonel Grossman, Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, very phenomenal speaker, is pulling research as to how our children, our teens, is thinking about different things in lives and how that impacts how decisions that they're making. And so basically, that's some of the causes, some of the underlying things that are happening that's driving violence worldwide.
Okay. More importantly, as we will show you some more video of what's going on here, new techniques, new approaches on how to handle these things and maybe being proactive in trying to head some of these things off. That's going to be talked about as well.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Here we have not only with Colonel Grossman, we have state leaders that have assembled here, including our Chief of School Safety for the state of Texas, as well as the Executive Director for Texas School Safety Center. Both of those were extremely important positions and decision makers as to how things were implemented throughout all of Texas schools.
One of the things I know that a lot of people would be asking is that there's always an outrage, an outcry when one of these incidents happens. Most recently it was the Uvalde school here in Texas. And you know, why couldn't something have been done? Well, that's part of what you do here is discuss how best do you respond and finding the cause and effect of what and why one of these kind of things happen. Is that right?
Exactly. Certainly, you know, identifying those indicators or those factors that we need to pay attention to, especially as adults, that we can help not only educate our parents, educate our teachers, educate our administrators on the things, not only what to look for, but then how can we help ensure that our children are safe mentally as well as physically.
There's a wide variety of topics being covered, mostly things that maybe we probably don't think about. The effects of the COVID era and being shut in, the suicide rates, sleep deprivation. There's a myriad of things that are being covered that a lot of people were probably not aware of. And you probably looked at this and go, wow, I didn't know that either. That's one of the important things being discussed here is it really is across the board. They're looking at every possible variable here.
Absolutely. You know, everything from violent video games to how that contributes to sleep deprivation and how that impacts how not only our students, but also how adults interact with each other. In fact, the Colonel is even talking about the connection between sleep deprivation and suicide. And he's bringing up some extremely interesting research that make that connection something to really think about.
Okay. This will be going on until around 3:30 today, and there will be multiple speakers here as well. I'm guessing you hope, your best hope to coming out of this is that we come away with a much clearer picture of cause and effect here.
Yes, clear picture, usable information, resources that our districts can bring back, or our teachers, our administrators can bring back to their districts to ensure that the safety of their communities.
All right, Doctor, thanks so much. Appreciate
Thank you very much, sir.
All right, and we'll have much more on this story tonight on KLTV 7 News. For KLTV Web Extra, I'm Bob Hallmark.